Coming up on WMBD News at noon, multiple schools in Peoria could see some name changes. We'll hear from those supporting and opposed to that proposal. Also, we hear from the Peoria Fire Chief about the proposed cuts to the fire department. Hear the decision that's now in the hands of City Council.
I love that I have something that I'm good at that I can use to bless others. It's a treasure.
And a Morton Woman's Bakery is now her second home, a little closer to home. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Shelby Roberts. To begin this afternoon, a man is dead after a car crash late last night in Peoria. Just before 11:30 p.m., Peoria police came to the 300 block of West Glen. That's where officers found the 46-year-old driver partially thrown from the car. Investigators say that the man was traveling westbound on Glen when the car left the road and then hit a culvert. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Now, we are still working to learn the identity from the coroner. The investigation is still ongoing. Multiple buildings in uptown Norwalk have been vandalized with anti-police slurs. The letters ACAB were spray painted on buildings like the Normal Theater and Watterson Towers Wednesday night. According to the Anti-Defamation League's website, that acronym is a long-standing slogan in the skinhead culture. The vandalism comes after a black man named Jacob Blake was shot 7 times in the back by a white police officer in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That incident stirring uprisings nationwide. Normal Police and Illinois State Police are saying they haven't arrested anyone so far. And Normal Police also need your help figuring out who broke into a cannabis dispensary. The video shows the moment it happened back on June 1st. You can see as 3 people bust open a window at Beyond Hello on Northtown Road, and then they all run inside. If you've got any information about this case, you are asked to contact the Normal Police Department. That number is listed on your screen. A Peoria County Sheriff deputy now under arrest. Illinois State Police arrested Matthew Hawkins yesterday in connection to a retail theft from a local business. Hawkins was charged with retail theft, burglary to a commercial business, and official misconduct. The investigation is still ongoing. 6 Peoria public schools could be getting a new name. One school board member now making that proposal in hopes of re-examining the legacy of the people that those schools are honoring. WMBD's Treasure Roberts shares both sides of the issue.
Thomas Jefferson Primary, a school name in Peoria since 1949. More than 70 years later, Peoria school leaders say they're ready to switch it up.
I think now is the time to change. And if not now, when?
Monday, Peoria Public Schools board member Gregory Wilson proposed changing the names of 6 district schools: Charles Lindbergh Middle School, Washington Gifted Middle School, Roosevelt Magnet School, Calvin Coolidge Middle School, Harrison Community Learning Center, and Thomas Jefferson Primary School, all making the list.
We have children, black children, that go to this school that if Thomas Jefferson was alive, he would not welcome these black students inside of this school.
Wilson displeased with honoring people tied to racist beliefs and slavery. Some PPS parents feel the same, saying they're on board for changes.
When we honor the names of presidents like Thomas Jefferson, who we know as a U.S. president, but also as a slave owner and as a man who has built and attained wealth through the exploitation of enslaved people, we have to examine that. And I think that there are better people that we can honor and we can pay homage to through the naming of our local schools.
We asked what you think on Facebook. Some people urging school leaders to just leave the names alone. One person saying Thomas Jefferson was a significant contributor to good things in our country, adding it's a bit far in trying to be culturally sensitive. Peoria school leaders are brainstorming new names for school buildings, honoring people like civil rights icon Reverend C.T. Vivian.
And that was Treasure Roberts reporting. Wilson also says before any decisions are made, Peoria School Board will ask the community for their input. Well, pushing back the vote. Peoria City Council failing to come to a conclusion Tuesday night on the city's budget. The discussions have lasted 6 months now, and the next hurdle to jump over is a decision about potential cuts to the fire department. Currently, Peoria City Council members are considering reducing 24 positions in the fire department and decommissioning 3 engine companies. Brian Brady, the president of Peoria Firefighters Local 50 Union, says the proposed eliminations would be, quote, borderline catastrophic, end quote. We heard from Peoria Fire Chief Tony Artis on how he says this could hurt response time calls.
That's our concern, is just the expansion, not only of the territory that we respond to, but the increase in our response times and in the wear and tear on not only the machines but on our personnel.
The City Council is also looking at the issuance of $10 million of working cash bonds repaid with existing estimated revenues. Under this proposed plan, the Peoria Fire Department would be down 33 positions. There are currently 4 vacancies and 5 previously eliminated positions. Council members plan to meet again in 2 weeks. In your COVID-19 coverage, a person has either tested positive or is presumed to be infected with the virus at Peoria Heights High School. The school sent out a letter to families yesterday saying that those in close contact with the infected person are being contacted and they will have to quarantine. The high school is sanitizing the building and social distancing and face mask requirements are still in place. The Metamora High School Board will be discussing plans today for an alternative schedule in response to COVID-19. After realizing that students may have to quarantine multiple times a year due to exposure, those administrators proposed a split learning schedule. The schedule allows half of the student body to be present in the school at one time. Students will be split into 2 groups. Each day, one student group will be in person while the other will be online. If approved by the board, that schedule would start on September 8th. Clinical trials for a COVID-19 vaccine happening right here in Peoria. 3 separate organizations are conducting the trials, searching for a cure or a vaccine for the virus. Congressman Darren LaHood says that the medical community in Central Illinois is a big reason he thinks the country will get through the pandemic. This is part of the federal government's Operation Warp Speed, which is working to deliver 300 million doses of a safe and effective vaccine by January of next year. Congressman LaHood says that increasing telehealth has been a very big success in getting people medical assistance across Central Illinois. Now he says we need to turn our gaze to increasing broadband for students who are remote learning. Kane County is now reporting 290 new cases of COVID-19 since Sunday. That puts the county's positivity rate above 8% for the first time since the pandemic started. Now county leaders are trying to figure out what to do to stop the rapid spread, and the solution may be mandatory orders. According to Bloomington Mayor Terry Renner, currently there's no masks in order in either of the Twin Cities. That means that both the governments do not require people to wear face coverings in public places. Terry Renner says as mayor, he does have the ability to call a special meeting to put one in effect, but he says he doesn't know where people stand on the issue.
I don't want to call a special meeting and have nothing pass. I want to make sure that the votes are there, in other words, before we move forward. This is absolutely urgent. We can't continue down this path. I hope that everybody understands how serious this is.
Renner says the council will discuss a mandatory mask ordinance at their next meeting. Still ahead, the teenager accused of killing multiple demonstrators in Wisconsin is now in police custody. We're taking a closer look at what investigators say led up to that incident.